Hey everybody, it's your pal Wes, and we're going to talk about Digitalis today. If you'd like an update on the channel and personal stuff and some cool extra news, stick around till the end of the video and I'll talk about all sorts of junk, but you know the deal. You read the title, you saw the thumbnail. Today we are talking about Digitalis from Aberrant DSP. It's one of my favorite newest plugins on the market, I would say. It's a little bit interesting though, and it's a whole lot of fun. So let's get into it, let's talk about it, and yeah, let's start off with what is Digitalis. You hear this, dude? Okay, so much like my dog's slurping water drinking, Digitalis is a degradation tool. It excels in degrading pretty much anything that you put into it, and it's super awesome. It gives you a ton of tools to just like spectrally fuck things up, to rhythmically fuck things up, and to use distortion to fuck things up. So let's just get right into it and let's go over all of its functions, and then let's take a look at some specific use cases, right? So enough yammering, let's pull up Digitalis here. All right, so bada bing, bada boom. The first thing you'll notice is our friend John. John is right down here. He is gonna explain things if we cannot understand them. He's gonna tell us what things are, how things work, and all sorts of stuff like that. So let's just start at the top and work our way around and down Digitalis. Okay, so right up here, we've got a calendar. It is incorrect. And we've got a moon and a sun and a moon. And that's what that does. All right, cool. We've got some presets that we can go over here. We've got some UI enhancements, some wallpapers, you know, maybe change this to blue. It's a very light shade of blue, whatever. And now we can finally get around to our boxes here. We've got data box, we've got a corruption box, and we've got a time box. And these are going to be our three main effects here. So something cool right off the bat, you'll notice that each one of these has a mix that is adjustable, and a little boop, you can turn it off, right? You can turn it on, you can turn it off. Another thing that you can do is rearrange them however you want, which is it's pretty righteous if I do say so myself. And it does change the signal flow. So if you put data in front of time and time in front of corruption, the signal is going to flow left to right, and then it's going to come out here out of this master input and master output, which also has a really nice effect of kind of gaining things up. And then you've got a high pass filter, a low pass filter, and a main mix right over here, right? And John will tell you all about this if you want to click on it. You know, I guess he won't tell you about the master output section, but he'll tell you about everything else. All right, so let's turn this bad boy on and see what is going on here. Let's turn everything else off, start right at the top, from the top, with data. Okay, so we're listening to this nice little song that me and my friend John Dinger wrote way long ago, and you'll notice that the first thing you've got here is this paint box, which does spectral filtering, because our friend John down here tells us what we're doing, right? So you can apply spectral filtering. You can also just kind of scroll through their, you know, really good presets here. And then you've got a sync rates here, which can be really fun. Right, so that's pretty cool. You can change the intensity. And then you've got a pitch section. Now, this allows you to do some quantization, which is also quite fun. You know, sounds pretty wacky, right? Then you've got telecommunications here. Now, what telecommunications does is it's kind of like sending something through LimeWire and then downloading it 500 times. But let's see what John has to say. It introduces spectral glitching to simulate faulty internet call or a bad MP3. So actually, I wasn't that off point there. But you can kind of set the priority and the amount of loss here. starts to get kind of like, kind of weird sounding. All right, and this is just with data, okay? If that's a little extreme, we could maybe set it down to like 39% or whatever, it doesn't matter. Now let's go look at the bit reduction here, okay? Which is, it's quite interesting. Now you might hear bit reduction and think about bit reduction. You'd be like, oh, bit reduction, oh, all it does is this. But it does a lot more than that. So what we can do here is we're gonna need to grab some sort of, we're gonna grab this track, which is just, I think it's a little bit more beatsy, a little bit more dynamic. And so we've got a distortion right up at the top here, which is a decimator. It's got a crossover, so you can decide that everything under 300 gets 400, 1700 gets distorted. Or you can turn it off, right? And then you've got a bit crusher. Look at what John's saying down there. He's gonna tell you about the futility, which is gonna let you get a little bit more in or a little bit less. Right, so this is kind of interesting. But then we can take a look at this dynamics here. So this is a compressor. And what it does is it gives us compression of the bit reduction. Okay, so we're talking compression on the bit reduction. But not really. It's kind of so now we're looking at this here, right? So what's this compressor thing doing? It is acting like a compressor, but it's applying not compression to the signal, but the bit reduction. So it's like a dynamic bit reduction thing. Here, let's take a listen, right? So we can set the threshold super low, the ratio super high. And then you'll see as the signal goes lower, it gets more bit reduction. We can use a crossover once again. Okay, so that's a pretty fun little corruption thing there, right? I like it. I like it quite a bit. Okay, so now let's listen to one more song here. Slippery. Excuse me, please me. And we're going to use this song to illustrate the time function here, right? So this is a glitcher. Right, so this is kind of nice. So we can make Gucci Man kind of just sound like one of them Animal Cross guys. But this glitcher goes quite high. And then just till I can get right, so that's quite nice. And then you've got a couple extra controls down here, which will also do fun stuff. Hey, where'd you go? What'd you do? Right, so So you're saying, Wes, why would I want this? This is terrible. All of these things just make this signal sound worse. And all of your songs just sound much, much, much worse by throwing them through here. But do they? Are you sure about that? So all of those things that I was wiggling around there can also be modulated right over here with a sequencer. Look at this thing. It's absolutely incredible. It just goes off. It just goes wild, right? So you can modulate all of these things, all the controls here, and you've got an setting amount. You can set how long they go. You can sync them. You can slow them down. You can turn it up. You can turn it down. And let me tell you, it's just really, really cool. So now let's look at a couple of practical applications of Digitalis here, right? So let's take a look at this pad that I've got here. So I've got a pad. Let's see how it sounds without Digitalis. Boring, right? Kind of meh. Let's turn Digitalis on. Chunky. Little bits. Funky. You know. Maybe I could change this to something a little bit more wavy. Okay. Yeah, I like that a little bit. Turn it up a little bit. Only the highs, right? It's getting pretty cool there. It's got a little bit of rhythm, right? Got a little bit of, you know, crunch on the top. We can take that off with the high pass. Excuse me. Right? Cool. Now this is sounding pretty good. Now I'm liking it, right? Let's add a little bit of and then let's take a look at some drums here, right? Now these drums, they're fine, okay? They're totally fine. But what I could do with Digitalis is just turn it on. And you can see that by using some time control, and the sequencer, got something pretty cool here now. And we could even turn this on. Or turn this on. You know, it might be a little bit much, but maybe just down 20%. So yeah, that was a quick little look at Digitalis here. I love this application. I love anything that can really kind of start to like muck things up, kind of add a little bit of grit, distortion. You should try throwing your voice through this. Put Digitalis on everything. You know, put it on drums, put it on your mom, put it on guitar, put it on your field recordings. You know, if you are like me, you remember a time when you downloaded stuff off of LimeWire, and sometimes those hi-hats especially sounded absolutely delicious. So, I mean, you know, that's kind of what this is calling back to, and it's kind of a beautiful thing. I absolutely love it. Let's take a look at some of these presets before we go, and then we'll talk about some other stuff here, right? So, here's default digital media death metal. I don't hear this at all. Long since forgotten. This sounds like it's like a nice tape thing, you know what I mean? Broken spaceship. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a broken spaceship. Internet. A YouTube to MP3. That is exactly what that sounds like. 2 bars of 3G. Yeah. Error. Error. It's not my fault. Percussive, right? Digital kick. That's a good one, actually. I really like that skittery. Ooh, this one's breathy. I like this one a lot too. Turn this up. These presets fucking rock. These presets are so good. Wait, give me this ghostly drums again. Ooh, that's a good sound, yo. That's just a good sound. Ooh, man, these presets slap. Get on these presets. Go play with Digitalis. Have fun. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Goodbye. Alright, and that was an unhinged video about Digitalis, my specialty, the things I love doing. Unhinged, wacky, off-the-cuff videos. But this next little part here is going to be kind of just a quick personal channel update. And, you know, yeah, thanks for watching if you don't want to stick around for this. And, you know, there'll be more stuff coming soon. And that's the gist of the personal message. I just recently moved from LA to New York, upstate New York, not the city. That was a trip. That took a lot out of me, but we've got the studio. We're getting set up, you know, everything's coming together quite nicely. I'm giving myself a little bit of time to kind of decompress and stretch out, fill in the space and everything. But coming up here in the next few months, we're gonna have a lot of fun new content. I've got a bunch of stuff planned. We're gonna do some more streams. I've got the production M8, and we're gonna be diving into that. More syntactics, digitech stuff, and also probably some content that is, you know, a little bit different for the channel. I might talk about some video game stuff, might dive into some DIY techniques, soldering, and some other fun things like that. So I just kind of wanted to update you guys and let you know that there's a ton of fun stuff on the way. A bunch of new things. And, you know, just stuff I want to talk about on the internet, you know? This is my channel, and I also just wanted to say that it has been an incredible experience interacting with so many of you. It means the world to me when people hit me up on the Discord or Instagram and they tell me they had fun watching this stuff, they learned something new. You know, it's mind-boggling to me that
there are these platforms out there where we can just, you know, spread our knowledge and share stuff, and at the end of the day, that's what is super important to me, and that's what this channel is all about. I want to be providing fun, educational resources that I would have wanted, you know, 10 years ago when I was learning how to do all this stuff, and, you know, insights into things that I banged my head against a wall for, you know, days, weeks, months to figure out. If I can streamline that process for somebody else and get them rocking and making cool art, that is just, it means so much to me. So thank you guys for coming along on the ride and everything like that. I've also got some music going up on Spotify and all the other platforms and everything like that. Slowly, you know, and the first few tracks might not be amazing #1 hits, but whatever, dude, I'm having fun. I'm probably gonna talk about that soon here, you know, in just a little bit. I'm gonna take just another moment to plug the Patreon. I know this is kind of a slow rollout on the Patreon, but I did wanna say that if you subscribe to the Patreon at any level before the end of February, I'm gonna be offering everybody who's in there 2 cool bonuses. Or, well, you get the choice between 2 cool bonuses. The first is you can choose a topic for a video. As long as it's something that I have knowledge about and can talk about. You know, if you're like, hey, talk about molecular biology, Wes, I'm gonna say no, because I know nothing about that. But if you're like, hey, I want you to talk about, you know, super saws on the soft pop, or, you know, get more syntactical and talk about parameter locking, or, you know, how do you fix a door? I know things like that, and I'm gonna do it. The other option is a one-on-one 45-minute session. We can explore any hardware thing that you want. We can explore, you know, mixes. I can listen to your tracks. I can walk you through some Ableton stuff. We could talk about video games and chop it up about, you know, random crap. I'll share my playlist with you, whatever you want. You get me for 45 minutes, and I'm gonna dedicate all of my knowledge and energy to you. So yeah, if you get into the Patreon at any level before the end of February, then I'm gonna hit you up and offer you one of those 2 things. And yeah, that's pretty much the rub. I am gonna get to work now and get this video out, and just one more time, thank you guys so much. It means the world to me that people watch this stuff. And yeah, hop in the Discord, follow me on Instagram, or don't, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Go make some art, go make some music, have fun. I'll see you next time.